2008, across America, from the West Coast to the Gulf Coast, through the Rocky Mountains and the Midwest Plains, Americans joined Greenpeace on a special journey that brought attention to one of the most critical issues of our time. From the birthplace of America to the home of show business, Americans came out to share their stories with Greenpeace about how global warming is affecting them and what they're doing to stop it. But most importantly, Americans spoke out about the need for Congress to do its part. Greenpeace's Global Warming Story Tour, a journey across America. Greenpeace began its 3-month tour across the United States in their solar truck, the Rolling Sunlight, on July 10, 2008 in San Francisco, California.
We went across the country because we heard that Americans were experiencing global warming right in their communities. That global warming wasn't just something being reported on by scientists and explorers from the Arctic and the Antarctic. We wanted Americans to tell us their stories, experiences in their own backyards, in their communities, where they raise their children, where they grow vegetables, where they hunt, where they fish. Stories of global warming impacts from where they live.
This year in my town we had another 500-year flood, 15 years after our last 500-year flood. That is completely unexplained, erratic weather. That's exactly what happens in global warming, and that affected me directly because the flood ruined my basement. My house I have $50,000 worth of damage in my house, and I believe it's because of global warming.
Global warming is affecting me and my community because as global warming progresses, we see shorter and shorter winters, and I'm a snowboarder, so if the snow's gone, can't do my favorite sport, and that's as simple as it gets.
Global warming is affecting my community drastically. I grew up here in Oregon, and we didn't used to have temperatures over 100 degrees until August, and now we're close to 100 degrees here in June and July. We had snow in April. That's in the Willamette Valley. It's unheard of. When I was a little girl, growing up by Mount Hood, we had 2 or 3 feet of snow in the wintertime, and now we don't have maybe a foot.
In the U.S., people from all walks of life are feeling this climate crisis. Many farmers are facing historic droughts, and business owners on both coasts are facing more intense hurricanes, fires, and damaging floods.
If we don't take dramatic steps to solve global warming, we will lose the beauty of the American way of life that we've grown accustomed to, that we want to bequeath to our children. We do not want to leave our children with a world ravaged by the impacts of global warming. And taking strong steps now is the most important thing we can do. Americans are not only on board with solving global warming, they're actually ahead of their leaders. Americans are taking action in their homes and in their communities.
Well, personally, I've got a pet project running right now. I'm a graduate of Tennessee State University in electrical engineering, so I picked up a pet project of converting a wrecked Charger, a Hemi Charger, into a biodiesel running vehicle. So what I'd like to do is take the Charger, reformat it, or refit it so that it burns biodiesel for fuel. And I'd like to also do some electrical hybrids so that I can save myself annual fuel costs.
Well, we've done all the little things around the house, like changing the light bulbs out, trying to unplug things when it's not in use, especially our computers and high energy kinds of things. We try to do that on a more regular basis.
And our hairdryer. We keep our hairdryer unplugged.
My hairdryer too, yes.
So when politicians finally listen to the American public and start proposing the solutions to global warming, it's important that the politicians listen carefully. When the public says it wants green, renewable energy, it means just that. It means efficiency and solar and wind. It means real solutions, real green jobs now.
I want to see the U.S. government take the same action that most industrial nations all around the world have already taken. I want to see them get up to Kyoto Protocol standards. I want to see them listen to the scientists who have been doing this research studies for decades now, and I want to see them cut our CO2 emissions to where they need to be. I want to see an 80% reduction in CO2 pollution by 2050 at a minimum. I want to see our cars get better gas mileage. I want to see renewable energy all over the place.
Well, what I really want is for my representatives to be as concerned about this stuff as I am. I'm a grandmother. I have 4 grandchildren, 2 more on the way. I want those kids to be able to live in the same kind of world I grew up in. I don't want them to have to go without any of the beauty that exists in the world today. And I'm very concerned that as long as we continue to be more interested in the bottom line and how to make a quick dollar than we are in how to conserve this land, that my grandchildren might not have that opportunity.
Greenpeace collected over 700 video interviews of Americans from the San Francisco Bay to the beaches of Western Florida, from Arizona to Washington, D.C., from the Midwest to the Southwest, gathering real-life stories of fear and hope. Greenpeace will continue to take direct action, work alongside the public, and make sure that political leaders listen to voters and enact the strongest science-based legislation to stop global warming, one of the most important environmental challenges that America has ever faced.
And on the news, it's the fear that keeps us away. We have to make them see it clearly, or in the end we'll all be paying dearly. How long has this been going on? Let the leaders say we know nothing. Let them preach from up on their hill. When the people below want to change it, we